lecture. Thank you for coming early, and thank you for being a part of this program. It promises to be very enlightening and interesting. Now, permit me to call onto the stage the MCs for today. We have Dr. Mrs. Oluwalonimi from Faculty of Nursing Sciences. Let's put our hands together. And to co-anchor the program with her is Dr. Dotun Adewale from Faculty of Dentistry. Let's put hands together for the two of them. So over to you, our MCs of today. Thank you.
Good morning, distinguished guests, respected members of the College of Health Sciences, esteemed alumni, staff, students, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to warmly welcome you all to the 18th Professor T.A.I Grillo Distinguished Alumni Lecture. Today we gather not only to celebrate excellence and scholarship, but also to honor the enduring legacy of Professor T.A.I Grillo, whose contributions continue to inspire generations within and beyond the medical profession. We are deeply honored to have with us our keynote speaker, distinguished alumni from the world over, and all invited guests who have taken time to be part of this remarkable occasion. We look forward to an enlightening and memorable lecture session. And once again, you are warmly welcome, and thank you for being here. Without further ado, shall we please rise as we take the national anthem and great Ife anthem. Thank you.
Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribes and tongues may differ, ye brother with wisdom. Nigeria's own and proud to serve our sovereign motherland. Truth and justice reign. Peace upon to honor and His report as kingdom to our children, a banner without fame, a banner without beautiful couple, conscious, vigilant, progressive, and wisdom, oppressor, and forgiver, the brother of living and protection,
Please, let's be seated. Thank you. Standing on the existing protocol, you're once again welcome to this occasion. So next on our item is the introduction of the dignitaries and guests. So I want to quickly invite to the high table the Provost, Professor Mrs. Bernice Adegbenbe. Please, let's jam our hands together for her as she comes to the high table. Keep on clapping. That's the mother of the college. You're welcome, ma. Thank you so much. We also want to welcome, with all reference, Professor John Akin Okeniyi, the CMD of the OAU THC. Please, sir. Ushers, you're welcome. That's our Chief Medical Director of the one and only Obafemi Awolowo University Teaching Hospital Complex. You're welcome, sir. I also want to welcome and bring to the high table our deans. So I will call on the Dean, Faculty of Clinical Sciences, Professor Ayo Salako. You're welcome, sir. Okay, he'll be on his way. I also want to bring to the high table Dean, the Faculty of Basic Medical Sciences, Professor David Adeyemi. Oh, I was told that the deans are not here. I think we are having some visitors in the college. I think the monitoring team also. Okay, so let's move on. So when they come, we're still going to recognize them. Thank you.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please, with a resounding round of applause, join me in welcoming to the podium the Provost, College of Health Sciences, Professor Mrs. Bernice Adegbenbe, to give our welcome address. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone, and especially a very good morning to our medical rehabilitation alumni that are here to celebrate one of their own that is going to be our guest lecturer for this morning. I want to apologize on behalf of the leadership of the college that many of us may not be here. I have to excuse myself from a meeting which I was sharing because we have the representative of the Federal Honorable Minister of Education and representative from the TED Fund in our college for the high impact program that we're able to be lucky enough to be enrolled upon. So in the college, we have the Ministry of Education trying to upgrade our facilities and improve the infrastructures in our college. And so for them to be able to do this for us, they have come to do needs assessments and then be able to decide what the Ministry of Education is going to add to our college. So it's a very important thing for us as a college, and that is why we have all been there. We were with them throughout yesterday, and this morning again, we started off with them, and they are still on it. I just took permission to come here while our deans and other members of the leadership of the college are with them currently. So they send their greetings. They will be able to join us as soon as they are able to complete what they want to do in the next 2 or 3 hours. So they will soon join us. So once again, I welcome you all. The DVC Academics is already in our midst. He's the one representing the VC of the university. You are welcome, sir. Please come to the high table. Can we guide him to the high table? Please come over, sir, to the high table. Ushers, you are supposed to have guided him. Plus, come and have your seat, sir. Yes, sir. So the Vice Chancellor, Obafemi Awolowo University, Professor Samuel Adebayo Bamire, who is unavoidably absent this morning, but he has sent a very capable and able representative, the Deputy Vice Chancellor Academics, and he is a man that we know as Agbara Po. So he's a right representative for the VC. Professor G.A. Aderomu, you are welcome, sir. Thank you for making it to this program. My deputy provost is not here. My own chief medical director, Professor John Okeneyi, thank you for being here this morning with us. The deans and their vice deans, they are not here, but they are part of this meeting. Our emeritus provost, the former provost of College of Health Science, Professor Kolawole, Babatoko Kolawe, you are welcome. Another emeritus provost and vice chancellor, not only a provost, but a vice chancellor, Professor Ijadunola Kayode. Thank you for coming. Former dean and the chairman, committee of deans, Faculty of Clinical Sciences and the university chairman for the university, Professor Showande. Thank you for coming. The president, if alumni, if Med alumni worldwide, Professor Rasak Adebayo, you are welcome. The PIC, Professor, his name escaped me. Well, don't mind me, but you are welcome. And then all the professors that are here. Now, our special guest for today, the medical rehabilitation alumni. They are the ones that are celebrating. We are celebrating today, and one of their own, and it's our own, is the one that is going to give the guest lecture this morning. So we welcome you all, the president of the medical illustration, rehabilitation physiotherapy alumni. And then our guest speaker, the HOD, Medical Rehabilitation, Professor Adedoyin, former HOD and former Dean of the Faculty of Basic Medical Sciences, and all other professors that are here. Please, if I skip you, it's not deliberate. Maybe my eyes has some short-sightedness and I cannot see everyone. Our lecturers in the College of Health Sciences, and our astonishing students in the college. You are celebrating an icon that you don't know about, but it's worth celebrating. So we are all gathered here to celebrate this man and all the non-academic staff of College of Health Sciences. I'm not sure if the college secretary is here because we are all engaged in a lot of activities in the college. It is with great pleasure and profound honor that I welcome you all to the 18th edition of Professor T.A.I Grillo Memorial Distinguished Alumni Lecture, an annual program of the College of Health Sciences, Obafemi Awolowo University. Today's gathering is yet another significant moment in our collective commitment to scholarship, mentorship, academic excellence, and preservation of noble ideas upon which our great college stands. This annual program remains a fitting tribute to the enduring legacy of a global academic icon, Professor T.A.I Grillo, a distinguished scholar, erudite teacher, and visionary leader whose contributions to medical education and academic development in our college continue to inspire generations of alumni within Nigeria and abroad. His life exemplifies intellectual discipline, dedication to service, and commitment to excellence, values that remain central to the mission of our college. I want to specially recognize and welcome members of Grillo family, distinguished alumni, and friends of the college joining us physically and virtually. Our great college started off as a then with the Faculty of Health Sciences. The foundation students were admitted into the faculty in September 1972. 36 of the 48 foundation students graduated with BSc Health Sciences in 1975 and moved into their clinical year of study by October 1975. They completed their MBCHD program on the 26th of April 1978. This is a brief history of the college for our students that may not know how this college came about. The first 10 students of the nursing program were admitted into nursing preliminary courses in September 1973 and into the faculty in July 1974. You want me to change? In July 1974, 7 of them graduated as the first set in 1979. The Bachelor of Dental Surgery program took off in 1975 and graduated 2 dentists in its first set in 1982. The Bachelor of Medical Rehabilitation program commenced in 1977 and produced its first set of 3 graduates in 1981. The Bachelor of Environmental Health Sciences program took off in 1976 and produced its first set of graduates in 1981. Today, we are privileged to host an accomplished scholar and distinguished alumnus, Professor Mukadas Akindele, who will deliver the lecture titled From Foundation to Global Scholarship, the Enduring Impact of Basic Medical Sciences and Alma Mater on My Academic Career. This topic is both inspiring and deeply relevant, particularly at a time when institutions of higher learning are called upon to reaffirm their role in shaping globally competitive scholars, researchers, innovators, and professionals. The team reminds us that every remarkable academic journey is built upon a solid foundation, and that the influence of one's alma mater often extends far beyond the walls of the classroom. Basic medical sciences remain the bedrock upon which clinical excellence, biomedical innovation, and scientific advancements are built. They provide not merely theoretical knowledge, but the intellectual framework for critical thinking, research, and problem solving, and lifelong learning. Indeed, many of the breakthroughs shaping modern healthcare today can be traced back to strong foundation in anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, pharmacology, pathology, and related disciplines. As a college, we take pride in the role our institution has played in nurturing scholars who continue to make meaningful contributions both nationally and internationally. The achievements of our alumni across the world stand as evidence of the quality of training, mentorship, and academic culture that Obafemi Awolowo University continues to uphold. I believe that today's lecture will not only provide insight into Professor Akindele's personal academic journey, but also serve as a source of motivation to our students, early career academics, and young researchers. I hope that the participants today will gain valuable lessons on perseverance, mentorship, and scholarly discipline, global engagement, and the importance of remaining connected to one's academic roots. Permit me to sincerely appreciate the chair of the local organizing committee of this program, Professor Elizabeth Osiegbe, and all members of the local organizing committee for the dedication and commitment to ensuring the success of this program. Members of staff of the College of Health Sciences, I sincerely appreciate you, students, alumni, and all our guests whose presence has added value to this occasion. Your continued support strengthens our resolve to sustain academic traditions that celebrate excellence and intellectual growth. So our dear students, I encourage you to take full advantage of today's opportunities and listen attentively, ask questions, seek mentorship, and remain committed to continuous learning. Great academic careers do not emerge overnight. They are built through diligence, curiosity, resilience, and strong foundational training. As we gather here today, may this program further strengthen our shared vision of advancing medical and health education research, and global scholarship from our roots here in Ile-Ife to the wider international community. Once again, I warmly welcome you all to the 18th Professor T.A.I Grillo Distinguished Alumni Lecture, and wish us a rewarding and intellectually enriching experience. And we thank our guest lecturer for finding time and spending his resources to be part of this program, and at the same time appreciate the medical rehabilitation alumni for the support they are giving to our guest lecturer and to our college as a whole. So once again, I welcome you all, I thank you all, and may God bless us all as we participate in this program. Thank you.
Please, we can do better. We can do better. Thank you so much, Ma. She has given us the welcome address, and she has also performed part of the MC functions by helping us to identify our distinguished people. Thank you so much, Ma. So once again, we would like to formally and elaborately recognize our keynote speaker. I know that the provost had mentioned, but I want us to formally recognize him all the way from Ghana. Our keynote speaker, Professor Mukadas Akindele. Please, can you stand up again for recognition? You're welcome, sir. Thank you. It's from the Department of Physiotherapy, School of Public Health and Allied Sciences, Catholic University of Ghana, Fiapre, Sinyani, Bono Region, Ghana. You're welcome, sir. So as we continue, we would like all of us to have the program for today. So our media people will help us to flash that here so that we can scan the QR code and download the program. Please, do you have that? Okay. So when you're ready with that, please let us know so that we can be on the same page with our people. Thank you. So quickly, we move on. And it's a great honor for me to call on our Vice Chancellor, Professor Simeon Bamire, to give the welcome address. To give the chairman's opening address. He's ably represented by Professor Ganiyu Aderomu, the DVC Academics. You're welcome, sir. We can do better, please. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma. Let me stand on the existing protocol, but I will also want to recognize the presence of some of our senior colleagues here before I deliver the Vice Chancellor's address. And I want to say that the Vice Chancellor is also very happy to be here this morning. But it was around 8:30 this morning that we got another message that he has to chair another meeting. So we have to divide ourselves into two. And I want to say that maybe in the next 1 hour I will disappear to attend some other programs. At least we are together yesterday with the provost of the College of Health Sciences, with some of the team that came from a TED fund, which is also going to be something that will really uplift the college. So let me quickly recognize the presence of the provost of the College of Health Sciences. Thank you so much for the good work. And I want to recognize the presence of the Chief Medical Director of our teaching hospital, Professor Kenny. Thank you so much. Our guest speaker, you are welcome, sir. Thank you so much for your interest in the development of our college. Let me also quickly recognize the presence of former provost. I can see Professor Ijadrola here, our former provost. Thank you so much for your support. Professor Kolawole, another former provost of the college. I want to really thank you. And also let me recognize the presence of the dean of, former dean of Faculty of Clinical Sciences, Professor Towande, and former chairman committee of this. Thank you so much for coming. And I want to also recognize the presence of the former dean of Basic Medical Sciences, Professor Adedoyin. Sorry for that. Thank you so much. Let me also recognize, I can see Professor Ojuawo, the HOD of Medical Rehab. Am I correct? Thank you so much. I can see a lot of other professors here. Please permit me, if I cannot mention your name, but I want to recognize everybody here this morning. Thank you so much for coming. Our students, I want to recognize you on behalf of the Vice Chancellor. So he has asked me to deliver a small speech here, which I'm going to go through in the next 5 minutes. So this is the welcome address by the Vice Chancellor, Professor Adebayo Simeon Bamire, during the College of Health Sciences 18th Professor T.A.I Grillo lecture. It is with profound pleasure and a deep sense of fulfillment that I welcome you all on behalf of the management, Senate, staff, and students of Obafemi Awolowo University to the 18th Professor T.A.I Grillo lecture holding today, Wednesday, 24th May 2026, at the College Auditorium. Please accept my warm congratulations to the Provost on the successful induction ceremony of the medical and dental graduates held a few days ago. The event was a remarkable demonstration of visionary leadership, administrative excellence, and sustained commitment of the college to producing highly competent healthcare professionals for Nigeria and the global community. Again, I want to congratulate the provost. It was a very fantastic program, and I really commend your effort and the entire college for that successful outing. I hope that next year is going to be more beautiful and better with the support of the university. I also wish to especially commend your outstanding achievement as provost, particularly in the area of strategic partnerships and collaborations, strengthening alumni relations, the introduction of additional academic programs, and the historic establishment of a new faculty of nursing sciences. Now, in the university now we have 16 faculties now. At least the last one was the Faculty of Nursing Sciences. So we want to congratulate you, and we expect you to bring more of these faculties. The implication is that once you are able to create more programs, you have more faculties. The implication is that you have more resources in terms of human resources and also in terms of equipment and facilities. In fact, it's going to even increase the budget of the college. That is the implication. So we encourage that you bring in more of these programs. And I'm assuring you that we won't waste time to approve most of these programs. So once again, congratulations. I think before I go on, let me recognize the presence of Professor Udu. I just saw you now. The Director of University Research under the Central Office of Research. Thank you so much for the good work that you are doing. I also wish to especially, your leadership continues to position the college as a center of excellence in medical education, research, and community service. We are proud of your sterling contributions and pray for greater wisdom, strength, and more accomplishment in your service to humanity and the university at large. Today's lecture is particularly remarkable, not only because it continues the enduring intellectual legacy of Professor Grillo, one of the most distinguished medical scholars and pioneers of academic medicine in Nigeria, but also because it provides us with another opportunity to celebrate scholarship, mentorship, institutional excellence, and the transformative power of education. The theme of this year's lecture, From Foundation to Global Scholarship, the enduring impact of basic medical sciences and alma mater on my academic career, is both profound and inspiring. It speaks directly to the critical role foundational medical sciences play in shaping exceptional academic careers, advancing medical discoveries, and producing globally competitive scholars and professionals. Indeed, no meaningful advancement in clinical practice, biomedical innovations, public health, or medical research can occur without strong foundations in the basic medical sciences. These foundational disciplines remain the bedrock upon which modern medicine, scientific breakthroughs, and healthcare innovations are built. Equally important is the role of the alma mater, the institution that nurtures intellect, shapes character, instills discipline, and inspires the pursuit of excellence. As we reflect on the life and legacy of Professor T.A.I Grillo, it is important to acknowledge his monumental contributions to the growth and development of basic medical sciences at Obafemi Awolowo University. Professor Grillo was not merely a renowned surgeon and scholar, he was a visionary academic leader whose dedication helped to shape the foundation of medical education in this university. He played a pivotal role in strengthening the academic structures and curricula of the basic medical sciences programs, therefore laying enduring foundations for excellence in medical training and biomedical research. Through his commitment to rigorous scholarship, academic disciplines, and mentorship, he contributed immensely to the development of departments within anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, pharmacology, and related medical sciences that have continued to produce generation of distinguished scholars, clinicians, and researchers. Professor Grillo strongly believed that the quality of clinical training could only be sustained through a robust grounding in the foundational sciences. Consequently, he championed high standards in teaching, research, laboratory development, interdisciplinary collaborations, and faculty mentorship. His intellectual influence contributed significantly to establishing the College of Health Sciences of this university as one of the leading centers of medical education and research in Nigeria and Africa. Beyond infrastructure and curriculum development, Professor Grillo involved deeply in human capital development. He mentored numerous academics and medical professionals whose contribution today continue to resonate across universities, teaching hospitals, research institutes, and healthcare systems globally. His legacy remains firmly etched in the culture of excellence, diligence, and scholarship that continue to define the medical sciences in this great university. We are especially honored that this year's keynote lecture will be delivered by Professor Mukanda Akindele, a distinguished scholar, accomplished academic, and worthy ambassador of this great university. His professional trajectory and scholarly attainments stand as eloquent testimony to the quality of education and mentorship available within the halls of Obafemi Awolowo University. Professor Akindele's achievements on the global academic stage reaffirmed the enduring strength of the intellectual foundations laid by this university and the College of Health Sciences. His story is a source of inspiration to our students, young academics, researchers, and professionals who inspire to attain global relevance while remaining connected to their roots and institutional heritage. Can you just put our hands together for Professor Akindele? Thank you so much for making us proud. And we are proud of you, sir. As a university, we take immense pride in the accomplishment of our alumni across diverse fields and continents. Their successes continue to reinforce the reputation of our university as a fertile ground for excellence, for innovation, leadership, and transformative scholarship. We remain committed to strengthening our academic programs, expanding research frontiers, and deepening global collaborations and producing graduates capable of competing favorably anywhere in the world. I wish to sincerely commend the organizers of this lecture for sustaining this important academic tradition. I also appreciate all our invited guests, scholars, professionals, alumni, and students for honoring this intellectual gathering with your presence. It is my expectation that today's lecture will stimulate meaningful conversations around academic mentorship, medical education, research excellence, and global scholarship, and also institutional impact. More importantly, I hope it will inspire a renewed appreciation for the individual role our universities and foundational sciences play in nation building and human development. As we gather to celebrate scholarship and intellectual excellence, may this occasion further strengthen the bonds between our university and its distinguished alumni across the world. Once again, I warmly welcome you all to the 18th Professor T.A.I Grillo lecture and wish you a most rewarding and intellectually enriching experience. Thank you and God bless. So this is from Professor A.S. Bamire, the Vice Chancellor and Chairman of this occasion. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Please, let's put our hands together for DVC. Thank you so much, sir, for that opening address from the VC. So as we continue, please permit me to quickly introduce to us Professor Babajide Odu, who is ably representing the DVC Research, Innovation and Development Unit. Professor Babajide Odu, please, we want you to come to the high table. You're welcome, sir. Now we want to listen to the goodwill message from the CMD, OAU THC, Professor John Okeniyi. You're welcome to the podium, sir.
Good morning, everybody. The Vice Chancellor, represented by the DVC academic, Professor Aderomu, our Provost and distinguished speaker, all professors present here, the family of Professor Grillo, our students, friends, each and every other teacher and non-academic staff present, and other alumni in-house and online. I welcome all of us, and it gives me immense joy to stand here today. Why? Because I am also an alumnus of this great institution, and I have a singular privilege of being the first Chief Medical Director of this institution that is an alumnus. This college and our hospital are not just structures. They are living testimonies of vision and sacrifice, leadership and scholarship that have shaped generations of healthcare professionals as envisioned by the icon we are celebrating today. Today's lecture, From Foundations to Global Scholarship, should remind us that the seeds planted in formative years will continue to bear fruits across the world. We have already seen that happened in the lives of alumni, but we must continue to plant more seeds and innovate. The enduring impact of basic medical sciences, coupled with mentorship of our alma mater, will produce future leaders, innovators, and healers that will continue to transform healthcare nationally and globally. As alumni, we carry a sacred responsibility to honor the legacy of this icon and others who have laid the foundation by investing in the future of this great college and our students. The projects highlighted in recent years, from modern equipment to scholarship, show that our alumni are united, vibrant, and excellent indeed. Let us therefore continue to strengthen this bond of scholarship and service, ensuring that OAU will remain the beacon of health sciences education, not only in Africa, but beyond. May this gathering inspire us to give more and lay in the heart of our students that when they too become alumni, just as on Monday some have just become, they will learn to give back and dream big. Please permit me to be a bit sycophantic. In the nearest future, our Department of Physiotherapy will bat a new department of occupational therapy in this hospital. We have been trying to lay the foundation. Indeed, it was the first building I started, and I take that as my pet project. I hope and pray to be able to complete what I have started. I also wish to use the occasion to invite everyone, our great alumni, students and staff, to my inaugural lecture that is slated for 30th of June, 2026. Formal notification will be provided, and the time and the date and the venue. I look forward to seeing you all. I congratulate the organizers. I commend the distinguished speaker, and I salute all alumni for keeping this great Ife spirit alive. Long live OAU, and long live OAU-THC. Long live our great alumni association, and long live the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you very much. Please, I must leave. I have taken 20 minutes out of the matriculation of our nursing students, and parents have been waiting. Please, I must leave, and thank you. God bless you.
Thank you so much, sir, for the insightful goodwill message. So the next now, before we move on, I will please permit me to quickly introduce to you one of our distinguished alumni all the way from America. That's Dr. Lukman Ganiyu. Please stand up for recognition. He's the president of Alumni Association, North American branch of Medical Rehabilitation. You're welcome, sir. Thank you. Quickly now, we want to take the photograph. We would like the members of the people on the high table and the members of the department, the faculty, and all lecturers to please go outside to take the photograph before our DVC leaves. Then we will come back. Please, we are not going away from there. We will come back to continue the occasion. Thank you.
ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Hello? Hello? Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we'll welcome back from the short break. Can we please appreciate the college musical band for that beautiful, beautiful performance? Thank you. So next, we would like to listen to the citation of the icon we celebrate today, Professor T.A.I Grillo. And to do justice to that, please join me as I welcome Dr. Arayombo to the podium.
Thank you for this opportunity. All protocols duly observed. It gives me honor to read the citation on late Emeritus Professor Thomas Adesanya Grillo. Thomas Adesanya Grillo was born in Lagos on the 29th January 1927 to the illustrious Grillo family of Pa J. Aina Oshaoba and Adenike Molara Serrana Grillo. He attended Baptist Academy, Lagos, for his primary education, and the Hope Waddell Training Institute, Calabar, for his secondary education, where he was the school organist, the head boy, house captain, and captain of the school athletic team. From there, he proceeded to Norwich City College, Norfolk, England. He trained at the Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland, where he obtained licentiate diploma of Royal College of Ireland. But before graduating in 1955, he also read public administration at the Trinity College, Dublin, between 1952 and 1954. He also obtained a Bachelor of Arts, Master of Arts, Doctor of Philosophy at St. John's College, Cambridge, England, in 1960. Doctor of Science in Trinity College, Dublin, in 1972. Doctor of Medicine in the University College, Dublin, 1993. During the course of his studies, he was appointed supervisor at John Magdalene and Trinity Colleges of the University of Cambridge, England, between 1955 and 1960. He began his academic career as a lecturer in the Department of Anatomy, St. Mary's Hospital and Medical School, University of London, in 1960. And subsequently, he was appointed as an assistant professor at the Department of Anatomy and Pediatrics, Stanford University Medical School, California, USA. That was in 1961. He returned home to the University of Ibadan in 1961 as a lecturer and rose to become the first Nigerian professor of anatomy in 1966. He also served as the assistant dean, University of Ibadan, between 1962 and 1964. He was in Ibadan as a professor of anatomy when he answered the call to establish this medical school at the then University of Ife. Between 1962 and 1972, when he arrived Ibadan, and before he moved over to Ilefe, he was a visiting professor to the University of Khartoum in 1969, as well as a research associate at Mount Sinai Hospital, Michigan, in the United States of America between 1962 and 1965. In 1972, he became the foundation dean, foundation professor, and head division of human biology and behavior of the Faculty of Earth Sciences in the then University of Ife. This was the same year he obtained a Doctor of Science a higher doctorate degree awarded after PhD from Trinity College University of Dublin. He served sagaciously with distinction as the Foundation Dean of the new Faculty of Earth Sciences, University of Ife, between the year 1992 and 1994. Professor Emeritus of Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, Nigeria. Consultant pathologist, Ife University Teaching Hospital, Nigeria, 1975 to 1984. Consultant World Health Organization in Africa between 1973 and 1986. He bagged several awards. In 1953, he had first-class honor in pharmacology. He had French Au Carreau Medal of Royal College of Surgeons. He had the class prize in anatomy, not done in 1954. He won the Irish Medical Association Prize, and he was an exchange student in the pediatrics and orthopedic surgery. Professor Grillo started making his mark in academic between 1955 to 1960. He won St. John's College Studentship Award. He also won Western Nigerian Government Scholarship, St. John's College Student Award for the Best Research Student, Durham Fund of King's College, Cambridge, and was the first in the natural science tripos in anatomy. He published his PhD thesis, which was titled A Histochemical Study of Carbohydrate Metabolism in Chick Embryo at Ibadan between 1961 and 1972. His research interest focused on developmental biology, paleontology, tumor, virology, electron microscopy, fetal endocrinology, histochemistry, enzymology, diabetes, and so on. His work were published in the following journal, among others, Journal of Anatomy, Histochemistry, Endocrinology, African Journal of Medicine and Medical Acta, Part Microbial Scan. During this period, Grillo was instrumental in acquiring the first electron microscope for Nigeria and introduced electron microscopy into the curriculum at the University of Ibadan. He also initiated BSc Medical Sciences degree in anatomy, personally supervised 39 students, 7 of whom graduated with first-class honors, 26 second-class upper, and 9 second-class lower. His teaching and research experience was not limited to Ife and Ibadan alone, but supervised undergraduate and postgraduate students at Michigan University, USA, between 1962 and 1965, Tokyo Medical and Dental University between 1966 and 1975, International Institute of Cellular and Molecular Biology, Belgium, in 1977 to 1978. Between 1962 and 1972, he produced 39 graduates with BSc honors. He had been head of department for 14 years and dean for 6 years. From 1972 onwards, he was a consultant to the World Health Organization, to the government of Liberia, postgraduate medical education, Alexandria in Egypt, the government of Malawi in 1981, and the African Regional Office in 1984. He was also a member of Nigerian delegation to the World Health Assembly in 1984. He served on many expert panels, creditably between 1973 and 1979. He was editor of Nigerian Journal of Science, Ibadan Journal of University of Ibadan, and proceedings of the Nigerian Academy of Science. Professor Grillo was an accomplished and a fulfilled gentleman. He studied music in Nigeria, Dublin, Cambridge, particularly piano and organ. He was a student of T.A.I Grillo, his own father. T.K.A. Phillips, Hurry, Simon Preston, those were his teachers. As early as 1959, he gave an organ recital at Cleric College, Cambridge. He also gave an organ recital at Tinubu Methodist Church, Lagos in 1981. University of Ife, Ile-Ife in 1983. He was not only adept at the keyboard, he was also a painter. One of his works, still hangs in at the Ezekiah Oluwasami Library, Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, and also in our popular Grillo seminar room of the Department of Anatomy and Cell Biology. As of 1979, he had over 110 scientific publications in scholastic journals, both local and international. He also reviewed the following books: The Egba and Their Neighbors, Autobiography of Charles Darwin's, Peoples and Job in West African Religion by Meyer Fetus. He belonged to several professional bodies, like Fellow Science Association of Nigeria, Nigerian Academy of Sciences, member Royal College of Surgeons, Royal College of Physicians, Anatomical Society, Britannia, and Ireland. He held many offices, such as President, Secretary, Treasurer by several societies in Cambridge, Ireland, and in Nigeria, and crowned it with a traditional chieftaincy title, Baashegun of Ijesha land, in 1981. He served as external examiner for MBBS, MSc examination at many universities in Nigeria, Uganda, Kenya, Zambia, Jamaica, Tanzania, Congo, Brazzaville, and was the guest lecturer at more than 50 universities in United States of America, Europe, Singapore, and West Indies, and so on. He was cited by histochemists of international repute, including Everson Pace, Hamilton, and Boydie. Until death came calling, he was still researching and teaching many of his students not just anatomy, not histochemistry, but etiquette, good behavior, uprightness. To Grillo, Memo Jodis Kusia Sua, no one should be a judge in his own case, and Magna Everita prevent, for great is the truth, and it shall prevail, were his commandments. He lived by the truth, practiced the truths, and died by the truth. At death, he did not leave mansions, palaces, nor billions of naira. Grillo was a man of science, wisdom, and knowledge. What Grillo left behind cannot be bought with money. He left behind ideas, wisdom, knowledge, and integrity, which will continue to grow and reverberate eternally. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, ladies and gentlemen, I present posthumously a great teacher, a mentor of mentors, an erudite scholar of international repute, a distinguished academic, a pioneer in many areas of science, a man of many parts, a pianist, a painter, first Nigerian professor of anatomy, the late emeritus Professor Thomas Adesanya Igegrillo. Thank you.
Can we please appreciate Dr. Ayombo as he takes his seat? Thank you. Next, we'll be taking the citation of our distinguished keynote speaker for today. And to do that, please join me as I welcome the elegant Dr. Morufat Oluyemisi Odetunde to the podium. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Please permit me to stand on the existing protocol. It's a honor to stand before you this morning to read the citation of Professor Mukadas Oyeniran Akindele. Please give me the opportunity to instruct Professor Akindele to stand and remain standing as I read his citation. Professor Mukadas Oyeniran Akindele is a distinguished professor of physiotherapy with extensive academic, clinical, research, and administrative experience spanning over 3 decades across Nigeria, Ghana, and South Africa. Currently, Professor Mukadas Akindele serves as visiting professor and head of Department of Physiotherapy at the Catholic University of Ghana, and is also an extraordinary professor at Northwest University at the Northwest University. Until October 2024, he served as professor in the Department of Physiotherapy, Faculty of Allied Health Sciences, Bayero University, Kano. Professor Akindele obtained his PhD in physiotherapy from the University of Western Cape in the year 2015, following an MSc in physiotherapy from the University of Ibadan in the year 2001, and a Bachelor of Medical Rehabilitation from Obafemi Awolowo University in the year 1992. Professor Akindele's academic and research interests focus primarily on musculoskeletal physiotherapy, chronic disease of lifestyle, low back pain, obesity, and physical activity, rehabilitation sciences, community physiotherapy, and culturally adapted physiotherapy interventions for African populations. His doctoral thesis titled An Intervention for the Management of Overweight and Obese Nigerians in Lagos State, Nigeria, reflects his commitment to addressing public health and lifestyle-related disorders within African settings. Professor Akindele has made substantial scholarly contributions with over 65 peer-reviewed publications in reputable international journals. These include BMC musculoskeletal disorders, Public Library of Science 1, Disability and Rehabilitation, Journal of Public Health in Africa, and Pan-African Medical Journal. His research outputs have significantly contributed to evidence-based physiotherapy practice, particularly in low-resource and culturally diverse settings. Professor Akindele has supervised numerous undergraduates, masters, and postgraduate and PhD students in areas including chronic low back pain, osteoarthritis, stroke rehabilitation, musculoskeletal disorders, physical activity, and quality of life. Many of his postgraduate students have successfully completed their studies under his mentorship, contributing meaningfully to rehabilitation sciences and physiotherapy practice. Professor Akindele has served as an external examiner for undergraduate and doctoral programs at several institutions, including University of Maiduguri, Ghent University, and University of the Western Cape. His professional experience extends beyond academia into clinical physiotherapy practice, where he has worked extensively in orthopedics, musculoskeletal, cardiovascular, community health, and sports physiotherapy. He also served as honorary physiotherapist at Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital, contributing to clinical mentorship and training of physiotherapy students and interns. Professor Akindele has attracted research funding, notably through the South African National Research Fund Research Award for a project that was aimed at designing intervention for the prevention and management of chronic disease of lifestyle in South Africa. He's also an active reviewer for several international journals, including BMJ Open, Physiotherapy Research International, African Health Sciences, and Journal of Patient. Professor Akindele has participated in and presented papers at numerous local and international scientific conferences, workshops, and congresses, including the World Physiotherapy Congress and the Africa Region Congress of Physiotherapy. Professor Akindele is a member of several professional bodies, including the Nigeria Society of Physiotherapy, the Association of Clinical and Academic Physiotherapists of Nigeria, the Society for the Study of Pain in Nigeria, and the Irish Society of Chartered Physiotherapy. Through his teaching, mentorship, research, and professional leadership, Professor Mukadas Oyeniro Akindele continues to make significant contributions to physiotherapy education, rehabilitation sciences, and public health research in Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, I present Professor Mukadas Oyeniro Akindele to thank you. You can sit. Thank you. Now, I humbly invite you to present the 18th T.A.I Grillo lecture.
Our doctor that introduced me, thank you very much for that. Let me start by appreciating members of the high table we have gone. But we have someone representing the Vice Chancellor here. It's one of our DVCs here. I asked him not to leave, otherwise this table will collapse. Mr. Vice Chancellor, who is being represented by, or powerfully represented by our professor here, Professor Udu. Sorry, Professor Udu. Other principal officers of the university present here. Our provost, who has gone for an urgent function. The CMD has run away again. Okay, I may not need it. Our CMD, all the deans and head of departments present here today. The president of Global Alumni Association of this university, and the chairman of Alumni Association present here. All our professors at this great university are present. Our students, great Ife community, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor and a privilege to be here today, and which I give the Almighty God the glory to be able to stand here and presenting today. I'm greatly humbled to stand before this audience at the Great Ife to deliver the 18th annual IGE Memorial Lectures. I'm greatly humbled to be chosen out of the several numerous qualified alumni of our great university. That's Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife. Whom are we celebrating? The citation of Baba Grillo has been read, but I want to add to that. We gather here today to honor and celebrate an icon, a contributor to the knowledge in person of Professor Thomas T.A.I Grillo, who happened to be the first professor of anatomy in Nigeria. And most importantly, he founded our faculty, which used to be Faculty of Health Sciences. We didn't meet him when we came into the school, but we got a bit history about him. And the issue was that it was legendary for insisting on excellence and had zero tolerance for error. Baba did not believe in shortcuts. You do the thing right and you get the right results. It was known to state that when you want to diagnose your patient, when you are managing your patient, you don't give room for errors. Otherwise, the life of the patient will be in danger. Unfortunately, the class of 1992 did not meet Baba. It didn't. And one of these was narrated to us, which I want to quote here. Baba will say, I'm often perplexed and perturbed at how dumb and unintelligent our people in this country are, and indeed the continent. The politicians are particularly worse in this regard. Well, what can I say? Baba is asking himself. They were delivered at home by traditional midwives in the villages with no antenatal resources. In such deplorable situation, with virtually all babies coming out of the head first, there are consequent predictable blunt head trauma with the baby's head hitting the head floor as the mother hits knee down to push the baby out. Of course, the traditional birth attendants just stood by and be watching and allow the tragedy to happen over and over to the unfortunate newborns. This explains why all of you with corrupt politicians are intellectually challenged. That's Baba saying that. Baba said he was smarter than all of you combined. Why was he smarter? Because he was so smart, even when he was in the utero, that he turned himself around before he was delivered and presented as breech and came out with his rear end first, thereby protecting his head and brain from hitting the floor, unlike all of you who are unlucky to come out with your head. And which is why they name him Ige, which is a Yoruba name born for children born with breech. Baba will end this by saying, I cannot but feel sorry for all of you. Despite this sense of humor, Professor Grillo was an outstanding and pioneering Nigerian anatomist who contributed immensely in reshaping the medical education and research within Nigeria and internationally. He was a foundation dean of our school, the Faculty of Health Sciences, University of Ife, where he established a leading medical school in Nigeria and in Africa. Furthermore, he extensively researched on developmental biology, histochemistry, embryology, placenta studies, and diabetes. And his PhD is making notable contribution in embryology metabolism. Grillo had, that was as of 1979, as said earlier. From the information I had, they say he had more than 110 publications. I wish we could compare him with his peers at that period. And he has mentored many healthcare providers who are leaders, or are leading in academia and delivery arena, healthcare delivery arena. It's unfortunate we didn't meet Baba. Well, I'd love to see the kind of description and accolade his peers, those people whom he came across, qualified in. For me, I want to say Professor Grillo left behind a catalytic and transgenerational legacy, which we are all benefiting today. my DVC, members of the audience, coming back to this great university present me with an opportunity for a deep reflection that enables me to retrace my sojourn from uncertainty to clarity, from curiosity to scholarship, and from being a student to becoming a scholar who is now a knowledge contributor in my own little way. As well, I'm a shaper or shaper of students who come across my academic path. To look into this reflection, I have 3 central cores and themes that is going to shape these reflections. The first one is the foundational importance of anatomy and the basic medical sciences of my life when I was a student here, and the role of this great institution in shaping my academic career, the clinical and research mindset. And the last one is how these foundations are now translated into global academic engagement and impact. I know we'll be wondering, how did this guy got to know about OAU, University of Ife? Just give me 1 minute of your time to just recap. In the ancient city of Oyo, I think you'll be able to guess the way I speak. I'm from Oyo town. In the ancient city of Oyo, there's a secondary school called Oranya Grammar School. The class of 1984, we had a labor and health prefect. And this labor and health prefect decided to choose 2 students, juniors, as his mentees regarding how to scale through JAM, how to scale through WAEC, and how to scale through other outdoors in academic career. While rendering his mentoring job, he ended up marketing this university to us, Obafemi Awolowo University in Ile-Ife. We asked him why Ife. We say, he had not gained admission then to this place. We say, I was told that, I don't know, I wouldn't know. I was told you are taught very well in that school. And whatever you are, you go there to learn, you become the master of that. So he gained admission to the university to read MBBS. To read MBBS, yeah. I proceeded to my HSC to read my HSC. And when I was filling my JAM form, I chose OAU because I wanted to know what that mentor knew then. So, and I was privileged to be admitted to this university. The mentor I'm talking about is part of your faculty members here, who is the president of this alumni, in person of Professor Razak Adebayo. Is he here? It's unfortunate he's not here. And I've said, this is your mentee of 1984, standing here today. Thank you very much. Sorry for that recap. My journey to become a physiotherapist began precisely in the late 80s when I enrolled with the Department of Medical Rehabilitation, Faculty of Basic Medical Sciences of this great institution. As a student with no idea of what future held for me, I was determined to get the best of my chosen profession, which is physiotherapy, from Great Ife. Like many students going into medical sciences, I and few of my colleagues then, we saw anatomy, physiology, biochemistry as difficult courses because we thought they were speaking in Greek. Especially when we were speaking in Greek, and that those courses required us to memorize a lot of things while in the class and after the class. But over time, I realized that these courses were the intellectual infrastructure and precursors that I need to succeed, first as a clinician and now as an academic. After completing my undergraduate year in 1992, I pursued my MSc from University of Ibadan, and I went to University of the Western Cape in South Africa for my PhD. The rigor of postgraduate programs, MSc and PhD, was much, but I was able to scale through because of the foundation given to me by you, Great Ife. Now, let me start with the first insight, which is the foundational importance of anatomy and the basic medical sciences. The deeper I go, the deeper I progress in research and clinical practice, the more I observe that the foundational medical sciences that we study as young undergraduate then will play a key role in my ability to recognize my patient clinical patterns and to be able to manage complex clinical problems efficiently. Ladies and gentlemen, I consider anatomy as a cornerstone of medical education. Why? Because it provides the needed structural framework and foundation upon which other courses are built. Also, the power of anatomy in medical education lies in its ability to serve as a foundation for knowledge, a guide for clinical practice, and as a catalyst for professional identity formation. Anatomy bridges science and humanity. It ensures that students not only acquire structural knowledge of the body, but also to develop empathy and ethical awareness in clinical practice. Anatomy teaches us to empathize with our patients whenever we are with them. In the era of technological advancements and curricular reform, anatomy remains indispensable. It continues to shape the competent and compassionate clinicians who are grounded in the profound understanding anatomy allows clinicians and surgeons to understand the body and communicate functional body system with clarity and empathy. In other words, anatomy as a language structures our communication, the way we diagnose, therapy, intervention, plan, and carry out our patient. Aha, I thought it was on strike. Ladies and gentlemen, still on anatomy as a language, it enriches therapeutic alliances between patients and rehabilitation clinicians. Especially, it ensures clinical, meaningful treatment outcomes. It allows us to reach an outcome that's going to be to the benefits of our patients. These basic medical sciences empowers patients to take the control of their therapy when we are talking of patient education. It facilitates and control. It facilitates and enhances interdisciplinary collaboration and grants therapeutic intervention in evidence-based practice. Colleagues, if we teach our patients to speak anatomy, the way we rehabilitate our patients will be enhancing. In physiotherapy and rehabilitation medicine, every clinical decision is grounded in and anchored on anatomical knowledge. For example, as physiotherapists, when we are assessing our patient's joint range of motion, so as to arrive at a diagnosis, we simultaneously consider the constituent of the joint, vis-a-vis the bones, the ligaments, the capsules, the muscles that control the joint. We are interested in looking at how fair are these constituents to the joint. Are they working properly or are they sick? In this case, understanding the structural architecture of a joint is essential for clinical reasoning. Such understanding helps determine the type of movement dysfunction that the patient is having, as well as it's going to guide the kind of intervention we are going to prepare, or we are going to prepare for our patient. Through the knowledge of anatomy, we are able to do a little bit of research on how fatty infiltration of the lumbar multifidus muscle aggravates the patient low back pain patient. Fatty infiltration in the lumbar multifidus muscle has been well documented in literatures, but the factors responsible for this histological observation is unknown, especially in a low resource setting. With the use of ultrasound imaging, my colleagues and I, we found out that increased adipose tissue is strongly correlated with lumbar multifidus fatty infiltration. Increased abdominal adipose tissue is highly correlated with lumbar multifidus fatty infiltration. Visceral fats and higher BMI, we also find out that visceral fats and higher BMI are key markers predicting higher fat accumulation among the participants in our study. The use of ultrasound and interpretation of the images we saw were possible because of the knowledge we have in anatomy. Without anatomy, we won't be able to know whether there's any increase in fats in the target muscle we observed. Part of what we learned at school was kinesiology and biomechanics. These two courses integrate anatomical structures into movement analysis. And these two disciplines allow rehabilitation therapists to evaluate gait abnormalities, joint mechanics, as well as the functional movement that a patient is displaying. The integration of this science transformed me into clinicians who is able to use bioarchitectural knowledge to inform my practice as an evidence-based clinician. This alludes to the fundamental truths that anatomy is not merely a course to be studied as a health science student, but as a long life clinical compass and companion. The relevance of anatomy, the relevance of a strong basic medical sciences became more evident during my doctoral research. Like the doctor read the other time, my PhD work focused on designing a culturally appropriate intervention for overweight Nigerians. As you all know, for us to design an effective protocol, in this case, it requires the integration of metabolic physiology, cardiovascular adaptation to exercise, musculoskeletal loading patterns, and tissue adaptation mechanism to changes in nutrition. We'll look into how the movement of the patients who are obese, how can we influence them? How can we design an intervention for them so that it's going to be tailored to their culture? I was able to do this because of the basic medical sciences that I was taught while in the school. As I continue my work as a clinician and as a researcher, I started to see how my research agenda, which is based on seamless integration of physiotherapy and basic medical sciences, could be applied to a much broader public health. In South Africa, we roll out studies on multimorbidity among South Africans. We also carried out traumatic stress disorders among military populations in our country here. We looked into occupational risk among Nigeria communities. All this reflects a system-level approach. These few studies I highlighted above, they highlight the intersection of anatomy and physiotherapy with public health, which does emphasizing prevention, surveillance, and integrated care models. Chronic low back pain, neck pain, knee OA are among the musculoskeletal conditions that has been the central focus of my research. I've examined the effectiveness of patient education, motor control exercises, and biopsychosocial intervention on chronic low back pain among the less disadvantaged population. Actually, this happened to be my first PhD student that did this one. For all what I said, how could I have been able to come up with these scientifically grounded research questions without anatomically embedded biomechanics? This and other studies that are carried out underscore the importance of having a strong anatomic foundation, as well as the need for context-sensitive rehabilitation strategies that highlight the role of physiotherapy in addressing disabling conditions that our patients go through. Chairman of the day, our DVC, members of the audience. The little contribution I've made so far to the knowledge is what I want to read about, just very short. Lifestyle diseases, lifestyle-based chronic diseases like obesity, hypertension, and diabetes represent a growing public health challenge. Consequently, my PhD thesis and subsequent studies were tailored to design a culturally appropriate intervention for the management of overweight and obesity among Nigerians using modified DEFI study. At the end of the day, we concluded that for us to manage excess body weight, we need an intervention that is culturally appropriate to our culture, to our people. We concluded that exercise therapy, diet therapy, patient education, and self-monitoring should be administered for 12 weeks. If that administration, if you want to see that patient in health facilities, if a patient comes to your facility for treatment to reduce weight, exercise therapy, diet therapy, patient education, and self-monitoring, this intervention should be carried out for 12 weeks. However, if you want to carry out the intervention at the community venues, like where our parents meet in the evening, the delivery must be 1 to 2 times per week for the same 12 weeks period. Furthermore, I concluded that preventive campaigns should also leverage on mass media to maximize the reach of the participants. As a former postdoctoral fellow, and now an extraordinary professor to lifestyle diseases niche area in South Africa, we conducted field studies among the Northwest University students and residents of Local Lane, which is a community that the university took for research on chronic-like diseases. We've published few studies on that, few of which were listed on this presentation. The last one we published was on mapping the prevalence of hypertension and diabetes among South African communities. These and other studies are published demonstrate the clinical role of physical activity, exercise adherence in mitigating the multimorbidity and improving quality of life. Dear audience, for those of us who are not aware of the global name recognition of the Department of Medical Rehabilitation, OAU, please listen up. The founding father of our department, in person of Professor V.C. Nwuga, who happened to be the first full professor of physiotherapy in Nigeria and Africa, he brought with him a unique body of knowledge to the department, which is orthopedic and manual physiotherapy. As at then, I can say now, no physiotherapy school in Nigeria, this one as of today, can compete with IFE on orthopedic manual therapy and manual. We've seen many of our alumni excel clinically and academically in this area, both in Nigeria and abroad. The product of our departments are well known with their unique way of managing patients with spinal and appendicular disorders. Now, in terms of spreading the knowledge to establish clinicians, I've worked along one of the alumni of this department who obtained an advanced orthopedic physiotherapy clinical proficiency from the United States. We together, between 2008 and 2014, organized and taught courses across the country. The courses we taught were orthopedic and spinal manual therapy. And during that period, most of the physiotherapists and also some orthopedic surgeons attended our courses. And the alumnus I'm talking about is in person of Dr. Ganiu Lukman, who is right here with us. My chairman and members of the audience, let me go through how this great university is shaping my academic character and my research mindset. As a clinician and academic, OAU, Obawan University, is more than an institution where you get your degrees and obtain your certificate. This is a place where intellectual identity is shaped. The mindset of scientific inquiry and curiosity is cultivated, and the foundation for a lifelong scholarship is firmly established. This is the university. For me, OAU represents all what I said because I've experienced it. My understanding of what it truly means to be a scholar began to take shape in this university. During our years of training at OAU, uncompromising academic standards were set. Furthermore, excellence was embedded within the very culture of this university. It's compulsory. It is not an option. You must maintain excellence, and the academic standards must be maintained. As students, we are not merely expected to listen and reproduce lecture notes. We are challenged to engage with ideas. We are challenged to engage with ideas, to question assumptions, and to think critically about the knowledge placed before us, whether in anatomy, biochemistry, and physiology. Our lecturers, both preclinical lecturers and clinical lecturers, they constantly reminded us that education is not merely accumulation of information, but the cultivation of intellectual judgment. The culture of uncompromising academic standards, commitment to excellence, and critical thinking of this institution was defined by 4 enduring principles. Number 1 was intellectual discipline. When we entered the school, we quickly learned that scholarship requires patience, concentration, and willingness to engage deeply with complex ideas, and that academic excellence was achieved not through shortcuts, but through sustained efforts and careful reasoning. The second principle was principles of independent thinking. We were encouraged to move beyond passive learning and develop the ability to question assumptions, to analyze evidence placed before us, and to construct arguments which is grounded on logic and scholarship. And the third one was academic honesty. At this university, integrity was treated not as an abstract moral principle, but as a practical necessity in academic life. Our lecturers taught us that credibility in scholarship rests upon honesty. Honesty in terms of when you collect your data, honesty in terms of interpretation of your data, and honesty in terms of acknowledging the works of others that you are going to cite in your work, in your publication. The last one was respect for the mentorship. Our lecturers were more than teachers. They were custodians of scholarly traditions. They were individuals who modeled intellectual rigor. They have humility and dedication to pursuit knowledge. Through their guidance, we came to appreciate that academic growth nearly occurs in isolation. It is nurtured through mentorship, dialogue, and scholarly community. Among the most memorable experiences of academic training were those hours we spent at the anatomy laboratory cadaver room, the almighty cadaver room. The cadaver room was not merely a place of instruction. It was an environment of intellectual discipline. In the lab, we were advised to put more attention to details, and that every anatomical structures we came across required careful observation, patience, and respect for precision. But beyond teaching us anatomy, those laboratory hours taught us something far more enduring: the importance of careful observation, rapt attention, methodological rigor, and scientific humility. In many ways, our lecturers provided our first introduction to the mindset required for serious scientific inquiry. They demanded something deeper than memorization. We are not allowed, we are not advised to memorize. We answer questions. They always insist on clarity of reasoning. You have to reason. If you are asked a question, you have to give reason why your answer was right or wrong. When we answer questions, we are expected to explain not only what you knew, but why it was true. So in essence, before you go to any exam or before you meet any of your lecturers, you have to let them, you have to bridge up yourself to face whatever you are asked to do. In the school, our ambiguities were challenged Superficial answers rarely satisfied our lecturers. And the exam we wrote reflected all this philosophy. These were designed not merely to test our memory, the exam, but to assess our understanding, the interpretation of what we've been taught, and whether we possess the intellectual coherence. At that time, all what I mentioned earlier seemed demanding. They were perhaps intimidating. But in retrospect, they were among the greatest gifts this university has given me. And beyond the acquisition of technical knowledge, OAUs cultivated something even more important, academic character. This is invisible compass, which is now guiding me as a scholar. It determines whether the knowledge is pursued responsibly or recklessly. Academic character determines whether research is conducted with integrity or manipulated for convenience. And it determines whether the scholarship is driven by genuine intellectual curiosity and commitment to societal progress, or merely by the pursuit of titles, recognitions, and career advancement. We were taught in this university that, like I said earlier, there's no shortcuts to success. You work for it. In the end, knowledge alone does not define a scholar. Character does. Character determines how knowledge is applied, how evidence is interpreted, and how truth is pursued. This great effect taught us and taught me. As alumni of this institution, we carry forward the values that were instilled within us during those formative years. We do so as product of the intellectual tradition shaped within this world. In that sense, the influence of this university does not end at the graduation. It continues quietly throughout one's professional lives. It shapes how we think, how we question, and how we contribute to the advancement of knowledge. This relation places responsibility upon us as alumni. We must remain truthful to the scholarly values that shaped us. We must mentor younger scholars with the same dedications our lecturers once extended to us. And we must contribute to sustaining the culture of intellectual rigor, ethical scholarship, and clinical inquiry that defines great universities like ours. Ladies and gentlemen, let me conclude this session. Please allow me, therefore, to conclude this session with a reflection of gratitude. I remain profoundly grateful to this institution for not only the education and the certificate I obtained from it, but for the academic character it shaped and cultivated in me. For a long journey of scholarship, it is not simply what we learn that matters most. It is the values that guide how we use the knowledge in the pursuit of truth, integrity, and advancement of humanity. OAU gave me a very solid foundation, which is now assisting me. How has this foundation translated into global academic engagement and impact? While reflecting on the past 3 decades of my academic career, I observed a gradual unfolding of foundation laid here in OAU. Over the years, the professional journey has spanned clinical practice, my professional journey, teaching and research, and mentorship across multiple institutions. My research efforts are focused on several important areas within the clinical and rehabilitation sciences, fields that differ in emphasis, yet remain closely connected to their shared goal of improving human health and functions. This for our patients with obesity. Through all these research efforts, I've had the privilege of contributing to numerous peer review publications and supervised several postgraduate students. Many of these students are now making their own contributions to research and clinical practice in Africa, Middle East, and Asia. Having said all this, there's an important lesson I wish to emphasize, particularly for the younger scholars here today, which is academic productivity is cumulative. It is rarely the result of sudden breakthroughs or isolated achievements. Rather, it develops gradually through several essential qualities. Few of these qualities are: number one, consistency. Meaningful scholarship is built through sustained efforts over many years. The second quality is intellectual discipline. The research we conducted requires careful thinking, methodological rigor, and respect for evidence. The third is continuous learning. Science evolves constantly, and scholars must remain students throughout their career. We don't say because you are a professor, you start learning, or you are the HOD of your department in the clinic, you stop learning. And finally, a strong foundational training. And the final something is that a strong foundational training, without which a solid intellectual foundation cannot be achieved. That is why the role of institutions like OAU is so vital. The habits, the values, and intellectual discipline cultivated during our academic training shape our careers. For those of us who are academic, this is for us. Mentorship as an academic legacy. Publications are important, but they are not the most meaningful measure of academic success. The most enduring legacy of scholars and academics are the people we educate and mentor. When we train students effectively, the impact extends far beyond the walls of the classroom. Those students will treat patients, they teach future professionals, and conduct research that improves healthcare systems. In this way, academic mentorship becomes a multiplier of knowledge and impact. OAU has provided and continue to provide the academic platform for those who have had and those who have the privilege of becoming its alumni. When they were reading the citation of Professor Grillo, we were happy Everybody were impressed. Baba didn't achieve that. He wouldn't have been able to achieve that if we were to be looking for shortcuts. Ladies and gentlemen, and students, my class of 1992, our class of 1992. I hope we are here. Thank you very much. In the history of our department, our class was the largest pioneer cohort that was admitted to the Department of Medical Rehabilitation at that time. We were 25 in number, with only 3 female students. Only 3. The class of 1992 was lucky to have mentors like Professor V.C. Binwuga of blessed memory, Professor J.A. Balogun, Professor Bajuluwa, Dr. Abere Oje, and others in the Department of Anatomy, Cell Biology, Physiological Sciences, and Medical Biochemistry. Their collective efforts in integration of anatomy and preclinical knowledge with rehabilitation gently laid solid foundation for who we are today as clinicians and academics. However, during our final year, nearly all our academic staff left the department in search of the greener pastures. Left behind our emeritus professor, V.C. Binwuga, to guide and mentor us. Despite these challenges, our potential was not diminished. In fact, this class have gone to produce 3 professors. Kindly allow me to mention their names. Professor Soji Adedoyin, SOJ, Professor Mike Egu, and my humble self. Ladies and gentlemen, it was during our sets that the university has adopted a collegiate system, and our department was placed under the Faculty of Basic Medical Sciences. Over the years, several collegiate structures evolved, but today, the College of Health Sciences remains the enduring legacy of this transition. Distinguished provosts, my esteemed faculty members, dear colleagues and students, what does future hold for physiotherapy as a profession? I'm sorry, the occupational therapist should not be angry with me. It is no longer a news that our continent, Africa, is currently facing major health challenges, including the rising rate of chronic diseases, aging population, rapid urbanization, increasing healthcare disparities. All these challenges require healthcare professionals who combine scientific knowledge with innovative thinking and collaboration with fellow academics from Africa and beyond. Physiotherapy and rehab sciences will play an increasingly important role in addressing this challenge through, number 1, preventive health strategies, community-based rehabilitation, and research on locally relevant health problems. To achieve this, African universities, including our own university here, must continue to strengthen their teaching of the foundational medical sciences. I am bold to say that our Department of Medical Rehabilitation is living up to this task. This is the message to our young scholars who are here. I want to conclude this task with these few words, which are directed to the students and young scholars. 5 principles can shape your academic journey. Number 1, you need to master the fundamentals, because the foundational sciences that you are taught will determine your long-term competence. Number 2, maintain discipline, because excellence requires consistency even when no one is watching you. Number 3, you should cultivate the habit of curiosity. You should ask questions beyond the curriculum you are being taught in the school. Number 4, respect your mentor. Respect your mentors. Academic growth is rarely achieved in isolation. It's achieved through years of rigorous service. And the last one is why serving locally. Our world is interconnected, but local problems require local solutions. If there's any one message I would like us, if there's one message I'd like us, especially the students here to be remembered for this lecture, it is pay attention to your foundational knowledge. The knowledge acquired during the early years of training, during these foundational years of training, may seem largely theoretical at that time, but eventually it becomes the intellectual foundation of future clinical practice, scholarship, and professional growth. My journey from being a student to the status of a full professor was shaped by the lessons, discipline, and intellectual foundation acquired in anatomy, medical sciences laboratories, lecturers of this university. In the same way, as students, your future achievements will be built upon the foundations you are laying today. Please take it seriously. In conclusion, I remain profoundly grateful to this institution, not only for the knowledge you provided, but for the academic character it helps cultivate. The lectures we attended, the laboratory where we learned, our clinical mentors who guided us, and the intellectual traditions we inherited continue to shape our work today. I'm grateful to my parents, my siblings, for supporting me as a student of knowledge at this great institution. The journey beyond this institution couldn't have been possible without the sacrifice of my wife and children, which are not here. Finally, I consider myself fortunate to have been part of class of 1992 graduating class in the Department of Medical Rehabilitation. We are blessed to have an exceptional group of people who, despite limited financial means as students, supported one another in countless ways. The class of 1992, I thank you for those periods of final cara after the clinic, the period when we used to rush to enter the shuttle to the teaching hospital, the period when you invited me to come and eat beans and gari, and many other things you did for me when I was a student. Today, I'm proud to say that members of our class are doing remarkably well, with about half of us now in diaspora, leading productive professional lives. Unfortunately, we lost one of our colleagues a few years ago in person of Dr. Femi Adedeji. May his soul continue to rest in the bosom of the Lord. Professors Ari Adedoyin and Emo Egu, who are currently members of the department's academic staff, were my classmates I thank you both on behalf of our class 1992 for sustaining the culture of academic excellence within this department. In the same spirit, the current president of the OAU IFE Physiotherapy Alumni Association, North America, Dr. Lukman Ganiyu, also my classmate, has continued the legacy of our alumni engagement by leading the classroom renovation project in the Department of Medical Rehabilitation, which was valued at over 36 million naira in 2025. To my classmates who are here today, and to those joining us remotely, I extend my sincere appreciation for your support and honor of representing our class on this occasion. Ultimately, a scholar is not only defined by the knowledge they possess, but by the values that guide how that knowledge is used for the benefits of humanity. And for many of us, those values were first formed here on this campus. For that enduring influence, I remain thankful to my alma mater, Oba Awan University. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much. Yes, we can do better, please. Yes, let that applause continue. Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you, everyone. Please, let's have a seat. We can have a seat. Thank you, sir.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I want to praise the indulgence of my colleagues here. Our class of 1992 are present, so please come up here. Professor Eku, Jima Longos. Hey, Gaspar. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry for. Okay, thank you very much for coming up here. The president of North American Alumni Association, BMR Physiotherapy Department, has an information for us. And I want you to say it. I don't want to say it. So that information is better said by him. Dr. Lukman. Sorry. I'm sorry. Like I said earlier, we were 25 with only 3 females. Quick introduction. We've introduced Dr. Lukman Ganiyu. This is Jasper. Solomon Babadia, sorry. HOD of Bagwalada Physiotherapy Department in Abuja. So, physiotherapists, get hold of him. This is Abuasi Ujima. We call it, we have 2 Jimas among us. Jima brevis, Jima longus. One is short, one is tall. This is Jima longus. This is Abuasi Ujima. This is our pastor, Sunday Odejide. And you know, we have Jima longus, we have Jima brevis, but we don't know how to place this one. He's the tallest among us, Professor Sojade doing. And we have our own, Professor Michael Egu, is one of those who steered our affairs as students. So, Dr. Lukman Ganiyu.
Good afternoon. You know, we've been sitting down here for like 3 hours. I think we need to get up and stretch our backs. Let's do that. As PTs. So we're going to stretch our back like that. Let's do that 5 times, please. Okay? You may sit down, please. We've been gone for so many years, but I missed something here today. We haven't done it. You know what it is? Great effect. Great effect. Great effect. Great. Okay. So today I'm wearing 2 hats. One, as the president of the OAUPT Alumni Association, North America. So when we say North America, it means the United States and Canada. The other hat is being a member of the 1992 set. So, thank you. So I'm acting with this group today. Okay? So we've decided on what we want to do. We're making donations. Okay? We are aware that there's an existing college fund for indigent students. We are aware that we have 7.5 million in the fund. So we are adding 2.5 million to that. As you all know, manual physical therapy, like our lecturer said, it's like the backbone of our department. That is what we're known for. We've decided that we are going to put in a modern manual physical therapy laboratory in the department worth millions on behalf of and this is gonna be been named how do you say? Okay, this is gonna be named to I'm trying to find the right word. Yeah, on behalf of 1992 set to commemorate Professor Fizi Biunwuga as the founding HOD of the department, and also for bringing the manual physical therapy knowledge to Nigeria, not just IFE. So now I'm going to ask Professor Egu to say a few words about that.
Well, I'm not surprised if you are challenging me. But the real issue here is that the Hungarian technique is known worldwide and it's one of the versatile techniques we use to cure or treat back pain, and it is very effective. And the pioneer owner is the Hungarian technique, named after Emeritus Professor V.C.B. Muga. So the manual therapy lab is going to be labeled after him to perpetuate his idea about Bulgarian technique that is useful to us. That is the idea. Thank you.
Thank you.
Please, can we all stand up to clap for this class? This 1992 set. A round of applause for them, for the huge donation that they have given, for having in their hearts their love and the love for the students. Thank you so much, sir. God bless you. Amen. Thank you. Let's have our seat. We once again want to thank our keynote speaker for the beautiful, impactful, comprehensive lecture. And many things have been said. And he actually told us, don't forget these 5 points. 1, master fundamentals. 2, maintain discipline. 3, cultivate the habit of curiosity. 4, respect your mentors. And think globally while problem solving locally. A round of applause for him again. So the next item is we want to decorate our distinguished guest speaker. We want to present an award to our distinguished guest speaker. And the person that is going to do that one is no other one but our amiable Professor Jide Ojo. You're welcome, sir. Our keynote speaker, sir, please come forward. Yes, our award. Hello. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So maybe the set can join him, and also I will ask for the former provost here to join, Professor Jadola. Can you come forward, please? Professor Showande, don't hide. Come forward. Professor Kolawale is no longer around. I think so. Please come forward.
Why?
Let's come. Well, this award is given to Professor Mukadas Akindele, who is the keynote speaker for today, in recognition of his outstanding contribution and distinguished role as keynote speaker at the 18th Professor T.A.I Grillo Distinguished Alumni Lecture. Thank you.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we'll be having a short musical break for about 5 minutes. So please sit back, enjoy, or if you feel so, you can stand and dance as you will listen to the melodious rendition by the best repertoire band on this side of town. Please join me as I welcome the College Musical Band as they treat us to some beautiful melodious sounds. Thank you.
When you cry, be sure to dry your eyes, 'cause better days are sure to come. And when you smile, be sure to smile wide. Don't let them know that they have won. And when you walk with pride. Don't show the hurt inside, because the pain will soon be gone. When you dream big, as big as the ocean blue. When you dream it might come true. When you dream big. When you laugh, be sure to laugh aloud, 'cause it will carry all your cares away. When you see the beauty all around and in yourself, it will help you feel okay. When you pray for strength to help you carry on when the troubles come your way. When you dream big, as big as the ocean blue. 'Cause when you dream, it might come true. When you dream big. Dream big. Dream big. Dream big. And when you love, be sure to love others and carry all your cares away. And when you see the beauty all around and in yourself, it will help you feel okay. And when you pray for strength to help you carry on when the troubles come your way. When you dream big, as big as the ocean blue. 'Cause when you dream, it might come true. When you dream big.
We wanna suffer every moment, slowly. You feel me till love it, now you put it up. But the only kiss now you turn it up. The way you live it on my journey, what I wanna hear. Baby, talk is slow so we can last long. wine. Apple
Thank you so much. A round of applause for the college band. Thank you for that rendition. It was so relaxing. Thank you so much. Now we move on to the decoration of various alumni sets. And before us, we have about 4 sets here. So we call on the set, and the representative of the set will come forward. If the other members of the set are around, let them also come outside here and join the rep to take the decoration. So the first set we're going to call upon is the University of Ife 1986 set. Medical and Dental Graduates 1986 set. Represented by Professor Famurewa. University of Ife Medical and Dental Graduates 1986 set. You're welcome. The next set is the 1992 class set. Represented by, the rep is Professor Adediba. A round of applause for him. I think he has been around. Please, if he's around here, please let him come in. Professor Adediba. Thank you. The next set is the 1998/1999 class set. The representative is Professor Dare Esson. You're welcome, sir. Please come forward. You're welcome. The other set is 2011 class set. The rep, there are 2. Doctors Ike Ugu and Titilayo Afolabi. Please come forward, sir and ma, for your decoration. Thank you.
To help us with the decoration, I'll humbly ask Professor Kayode Jadwala, former Provost, College of Health Sciences, and a distinguished Professor of Community Health, to please come forward to help us with the decoration of this class set. Thank you, sir. A round of applause for him. I would also like to call on Professor Oludayo Showande, distinguished Professor of Pediatric Surgery, to also step forward to help us with this decoration. A round of applause for him, please. Professor Zegbe, can we please have you?
So on behalf of the Provost, that's Professor Mrs. Benny Sadid Bengbe, our ever sophisticated Provost. That's how one of our students addressed her yesterday. And the LOC of the 18th Grillo Distinguished Lecture, we want to say a big thank you to the Ife Medical and Dental 1986 graduating set for their support always towards the growth and development of our great college. Thank you very much, Ma. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prof.
Once more, Mr. Vice Chancellor and distinguished guest speaker for today, on behalf of the Provost and the chair of this occasion, we want to recognize and thank in a special way. No, I know these ones very well. We want to thank in a special way the members of the 1998-99 medical and dental graduating class of our College of Health Sciences. Some of the facilities that we're using in this hall today were actually put together by them, so I know them very well. And let me make a big disclosure. My wife is in that class. So I know them like the back of my hand. So we thank you for all the good work that you do and that you continue to do. Because I also know that sometime last year, you came around. That was your 25th anniversary of your graduation. And you still had some remarkable projects that you did for the college. We cannot thank you well enough. And like I always tell members of the university community, maybe sometime, hopefully, I hope we won't get there, when we rename our College of Health Sciences Alumni College of Health Sciences. But it is for the alumni that the college is still existing today, and we cannot thank them all the time.
Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, our distinguished lecturer, may I, on behalf of the Provost College of Health Sciences, all alumni here present, appreciate the 2021 class set, 2011 class set, for what you have done, for your contribution to the college. We appreciate you and we thank you.
Thank you. So the next now is the chairman's closing remarks. And that's going to be done by Professor Gigi Odu. You're welcome, sir, to give us the closing remarks. Hello, sir. Hello, please hold on. Thank you, everyone. The next thing we're gonna do is to decorate the class of the 1992 set of the physiotherapy from where our guest speaker came from. Please, let's come outside here, sirs. We wanna decorate you. Yes. Our professors that are going to do this decoration will be Professor I.K.T. Jadrola and Professor Showande. Please come out, sirs. And Professor Ojoawo, please come outside, sirs, to decorate this beautiful class.
Lest we forget what is very important. The people we have come to celebrate here today is the 1992 graduating class of the Bachelor of Medical Rehabilitation program. And these are the people here present. Usually, yeah, thank you, sir, thank you. In the tradition of the Grillo lecture, we will decorate the guest speaker and all his or her classmates that are present at that event. And so that's what we call institutional memory. You will pardon us that maybe the anchor didn't know details of that, but thank God some of us are here. So you are the ones who have come to celebrate. And then we then also recognize classes that have come around in the last 1 year to do one thing or the other. And those are the 3 classes you saw that were initially decorated. But you are the star of the occasion. And so congratulations once more to everybody who is a member of that class. Thank God we don't have a lady. Your class was not gender sensitive. Yes. So it is only gentlemen that will decorate all of you here present.
Yes, our cameraman, you can always take the picture from here. They are all sitting on the front row. Hello, cameraman. You can take the picture from here. They are seated in the front row. Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to listen to the closing remarks from Professor Jide Odu. You're welcome to the podium, sir. A round of applause for him.
Thank you, ma. Yeah. Thank you. I want to thank the organizers of this program for asking me to give a short remark. It's going to be short indeed. So we're listening to the citation of Professor Grillo. I found out that he was a man who was, so versatile, or an all-rounder. And I listened to that, and then I found out that he was not just maybe a medical person alone. He also ventured into music, and also into arts, into politics, into athletics. So what's that telling us today? That we should not just be comfortable in our own area. We should venture out. Let's venture out. And that's what brings, how we are committed to the system, to lifting the system that we are in. And I also found out that he said he didn't meet him in school. And I don't know if you met him, sir. You met him? Oh, good. So you must have been imparted in a way. And for those who met him while he was in school, you must have been imparted in one way or the other. And I can see that's why we are celebrating him today. We can remember him. So just like what Professor Jadola said, that institutional memory. So you have, that memory of what the man, was. And today we can celebrate it. We can remember what he has done. How he, pioneered the different departments in or faculties in the College of Health Sciences. And I've seen that since then, we've had 17th provosts in the college. We're deans and provosts in the college. Starting from him, and then now we have Professor B.O. Adegbayingbe. I think this is a laudable program. It's something that's laudable. We should, please, if you are clapping, clap very well. And I think this should be sustained. It's something that should be sustained so that we keep on passing it from one generation to another to celebrate excellence, to have a culture of celebration of excellence in our midst. And I am sure that this is not just, you are leading. The College of Health Sciences is leading in so many ways. I know that because I'm the director in charge of University Research Office. So I know in terms of research, the college is leading. So just say it's a short remark. I don't want to want it to be long. So I just want to say thank you to the organizer of this program. Please let it be more lively. Keep on inviting different sets to come and champion, the different lectures, and then as you do it, you will keep on progressing, and then the college. And also, please, don't just look outside alone. If you ask the people who have ventured out to come back and tell us their experience, you will see that it's even better to stay in and make impact. Your impact will be recognized more than what you are giving outside. And that's why we can see, somebody like him coming to give this lecture. So please, thank you. Thanks.
Thank you so much, sir. for that short closing remarks. Now I'll call on our amiable chairman of the organizing committee, Professor Ozegbe, to give the final vote of thanks. Thank you, ma. A round of applause for him, for her, sorry.
Thank you very much, ma. Good afternoon, everyone. Let's put our hands together for ourselves for waiting this long. Thank you for being there. So on behalf of the local organizing committee of the 18th Professor T.A.I Grillo Distinguished Lecture, I say a big thank you to the Vice Chancellor of our university, ably represented by the DVC academics, that's in person of Professor G. Aderomu. I also want to extend my appreciation to the DVC Research, Innovation, and Development, represented by Professor Odu. Thank you for being with us here. We appreciate your presence. I also like to say thank you to our amiable, ever sophisticated, put our hands together, for our provost, Professor Benis Adegbengbe, for supporting this 18th Professor T.A.I Grillo Distinguished Lecture. We're grateful to you, ma. And my sincere appreciation to our CMD. He left. That's in person of Professor John Akin Okeniyi. We're grateful to you. To our keynote speaker, Professor Mukadas Akindele, we say thank you. And he said they left not too long ago. We're grateful for your presence and for your support to the growth and development of our great college. We are indeed grateful to you. My sincere appreciation to the past provost of the college, Professor Ijadola IKT. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Professor Babatope Kolawole was around earlier. He's left. We appreciate his presence. And to all the professors in the house, Professor Famurewa has been with us since yesterday. Thank you, ma. Professor Dayo Showande, we are grateful. And the other professors that I may not be able to pick their names right away, thank you for supporting our college, for supporting this program. We're grateful to you. And I also want to say thank you to the other lecturers in the college for gracing this occasion. Thank you. I'd like to appreciate the college band for the wonderful music, for the melodious songs. Thank you for supporting us every year. It is your program. It is our program. Together we are in this. My appreciation goes to all the students of the College of Health Sciences. Please put your hands together for yourselves. You have been very wonderful since yesterday. You have been very, very wonderful. And I also like to thank TVC News. They were here earlier, they've left. So please be on the lookout for this program on TVC News anytime from this evening. My sincere appreciation also goes to every member of the LOC for working tirelessly round the clock to make sure this program is a success. Please, let's put our hands together for the LOC. And to Mr. Shayo and the other technical crew members, I say a big thank you. I look forward to seeing us all at the 19th Professor T.A.I Grillo Lecture come year 2027, God sparing our lives. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. As we draw the curtain for the 18th Professor T.A.I Distinguished Alumni Lecture, can we please rise as we take the Great Ife anthem and the Great Ife anthem, please.
Africa's most beautiful battle. Oceans vigilant, progressive, a little against oppression. Forever, backward counterfeit.
First stanza of the national anthem.
Nigeria, we are our native land. Your tribe and tongue, no differ. His brotherhood is love. Nigerians are proud to serve as sovereigns of the land.
Thank you. God bless you.